Your top tower is under attack.
To the battle! Things you command. The cost of kibble.
I can never go back to Dota. For someone who has close to 2,000 hours in this game, it's been tough making my peace with that. Don't get me wrong though, I love this game. I first got into it in 2014 after watching a bit of the grand finals for the International 4, where Team Newbie took home the grand prize of $5 million US, which is quaint when compared to the tournament's more recent prize pools. Defense of the Ancients was my first foray into the world of MOBAs, or multiplayer online battle arenas. As someone who played a bunch of StarCraft and Age of Empires when I was younger, it felt comfortable moving to Dota, as it has its roots in real-time strategy games, where it first started out as a mod for Warcraft 3 before being picked up by developer Valve. Being free to play, the barrier to entry is really low. You don't need to unlock or pay for anything that affects gameplay, which means someone brand new to the game is on a level playing field with the pro who's been playing for years. It literally comes down to a player's skill and experience. Dota has a steep learning curve, but it is incredibly rewarding once you get a bit more accustomed to how it plays and what you need to be doing. As of recording this video, there are 124 heroes or characters you can choose from, and again, you don't need to pay for them or unlock them. You can just pick one that looks cool and jump right in. As you play, you're trying to kill neutral and enemy creeps, or AI, to gain experience and gold. That allows you to level up and unlock more skills and lets you purchase items from the store to augment your hero in different ways. Right now, I think there are about 200 items in the game. So if you quickly do that math, let's say 124 heroes times 4 or 5 unique abilities per hero plus 200 unique items, you can start to see how that learning curve turns into a bit of a brick wall. All the while, you and your team are trying to kill the opposing players, so that requires good timing and coordination. Once your team is strong enough, you can push down the opposing team's defensive towers, and your end goal is to destroy their base, or their ancient, hence Defense of the Ancients. There's a lot more nuance than that, but at a high level, that's enough to get you going. As a competitive 5 vs 5 game, Dota comes with all the typical benefits and baggage of any other online multiplayer game. You can have some really incredible plays and clutch moments where your team is coordinating and outsmarting your opponents, which really gets your endorphins and adrenaline pumping. You'll also have those matches where you get absolutely crushed, or you'll be demoralized after throwing away an easy win. You'll make unexpected friends with strangers who can become lifelong pals, or you'll meet an absolute jerk that sours your mood for an entire week. And I'll give Valve some credit, they've done a lot over the years to ensure that the experience of playing Dota is as enjoyable as possible, but it's still an online game, so you're always taking your chances. Any competitive game will generate some levels of toxicity among its player base, but add on the fact that matches can last anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, that can exponentially exacerbate the problem. One thing I started doing is actually muting all text and voice chat from both my opponents and my teammates. It's not ideal, as Dota is best played when communicating with your team, but once you have a good grip on the game, and if you find you're having more negative interactions than positive ones, it's an option you can look at. Shout out to my friend Ursinity, who was the first person I heard suggest this. It makes Dota a little bit more chill after a long day at work. I've had some absolutely incredible and memorable moments while playing Dota. I can remember my first base race where we came back from mega creeps, or the maniacal laughter of my friend as her techies wore down the enemy team with mines and spam voice lines while she was memeing on them, or the time I got trounced by a really good Invoker player. I remember asking them how I could improve my own Invoker play while we were fighting each other, and then we got to chatting, and we've been friends ever since. There was a period of a few years in my life where I knew that at the end of every day, my stack of friends would be online and we could chat, catch up, and play matches of Dota late into the night. But as with all things in life, the only constant is change. Everyone gets older and they take on new responsibilities, they get a new job, maybe they move time zones, start a new family, get a new hobby, go back to school, or maybe they're just playing other games. It can be hard to play with the same friends. Maybe you just can't be online at the same time anymore, or you can't commit to playing as long or uninterrupted, or at the end of the day, maybe you just drift apart. I get sad when I spend too much time thinking about it, but I'll never be able to recapture those days where I could just focus on Dota and my friends. It's unfortunate, but I just don't have the hours anymore to play, and as the game continues to be updated, that means it's harder to keep up and stay knowledgeable, or to keep my skills in the game as sharp. Granted, even when I was playing Dota every day, I wasn't a top tier player, maybe average at best, but I always felt competent and felt like I could hold my own even with players that were better than me. It's a weird feeling now. My reaction times are slower, and all that past game knowledge and game mastery, all that stuff I used to have is just no longer relevant. With all that being said though, I don't regret the time I spent with Dota. To this day, I still feel it is one of the best multiplayer experiences out there. Plus, it's 100% free to play. It doesn't gate any of its gameplay content, and it can run on mid and even low spec PCs. You can make the case for cosmetics and their other monetization feeling a bit off at times, but you never have to engage with any of that if you don't want to. I might be biased, but even though League of Legends is more successful and reaches a wider audience in the MOBA space, I think Dota looks and plays better. Full stop. It has more strategic depth and better gameplay mechanics, and not only that, it doesn't lock any of its playable characters behind a paywall. When I was thinking about doing this video, I started getting some anxiety. I was like, am I really going to play some Dota? Do I want to do that to myself? But I'm glad I did. It was great to spend some time with the game, even if I can never recapture that old magic. I'll miss spending time with Dota, but I know it's always there, waiting for me to come back. That is, of course, unless Valve shuts down the game or they decide to make a Dota 3, and if that happens, then maybe I'll have to check it out again.